Divorced man, is it worth building a relationship? Of course, we are not talking about the moral aspect of divorce. Nowadays, unfortunately, you will not surprise anyone with divorces. Our attitude towards the bonds of marriage is not as serious as that of our ancestors, who could divorce only in the most exceptional cases. And blaming only men for divorces is unfair. The situations are such that it is a man who can become the injured party. And that's exactly what it's all about. How did divorce affect a man's psyche, his attitude towards women, towards the institution of marriage? Will he become a good father a second time? Will he be faithful to his wife and trust her? Will he be able to treat his old family with respect, but with detachment? Before starting a serious relationship with a divorced man, you should definitely get answers to all these questions for yourself. And, at a minimum, you need to understand the reason for the divorce. In no case do not ask directly, do not come out with painful details, do not delve into the nuances of the family drama, but tactfully and carefully inquire with mutual friends, whose separation has been the initiative, since how many years they have been married and how civilized they have been divorced. Delayed depression. If the marriage lasted more than 5 years, then after a divorce most men are practically doomed to experience the so-called delayed depression. Its peculiarity is that it covers not during the divorce and not immediately afterwards, but in a year or two. Even a man whose divorce occurred on his own initiative can fall into such depression, and if he is abandoned, a depressed state of mind is guaranteed. It is therefore very important to know when you met the divorced woman. If 2 years have not yet passed after the divorce, be prepared for bouts of blues, and also note that during this period he may not behave quite as usual, in an unusual way for himself, for example, more cynical or, on the contrary, robot monogame. A divorced monogamist most often behaves like a robot, continues to do his usual job, lives as usual, even, probably, meets girls and tries to form new relationships. But he does it automatically, by inertia, and remains with his soul in the old family. However, monogamous is, by definition, an extra line in your biography. Unless, of course, he likes you. In this case, whether you met him before the divorce or after, it is without scruple. He is with you only because he is rejected by the unique, and you are only one means of consolation, but, which is doubly insulting, in vain. A monogamist is even able to remarry in a hurry immediately after a divorce, but all this does not. Danger. A womanizer. A man prone to polygamy, or, as they often say, a womanizer, will fight delayed depression by the means available to him. He will try to forget himself in many one-time sexual intrigues. Without any of the sexual partners during this period, he probably won't want serious long-term relationships. Therefore, be afraid of a womanizer precisely in the post-divorce period. He is futile. He is feverishly trying to heal spiritual wounds with the help of an exhausting sex marathon. He will be ready for a new relationship later and maybe even become a faithful husband. We advise you to wait. Twice exemplary family man. A man of the exemplary family man type will of course experience the separation from his family as painfully as possible, because he cannot imagine himself outside family relations. These men are particularly difficult to live apart from their children, and this is an important criterion for you. If your boyfriend is divorced and longs to have children, tries to see them more often, take care of them, this perfectly characterizes him as the father of your future joint children. In no case do not try to reduce his communication with children. This is cruel and can ruin his opinion of you. A divorced man can treat his ex-wife the same. There is no need to be jealous of him, to blame him. For him, she is above all the mother of her children. Well, in general, smart, divorced people often stay in great relationships. However, you should think about it. Being so immersed in the problems and joys of his old family, will this man be able to fully take care of a new family, if you plan one? Is it enough for 2 houses? Temporary or permanent? Some of the divorced men, especially those who divorced on their wife's initiative, or on their own initiative, but because of their wife's betrayal, i.e. they feel abandoned, betrayed, offended during a period of delayed depression, can become misogynistic. Not in the sense of avoiding communication with women, and in terms of a cynical attitude towards them, frank use only for sexual satisfaction. Under the motto, "You women are all the same." Such a man, from his own bitter experience, will draw negative generalizing conclusions both about the devotion of women and about the sanctity of family ties. And it will take a lot of female patience and tenderness for it to thaw out and believe in the love and loyalty. If for some reason you liked such a divorced man, the most important thing you need to understand about him is he a temporary or permanent misogynist? Can it improve in the future? It is possible that his lack of respect for the female gender was the cause of the divorce, not the consequence.